Mr. President, an American historian, James Truslow Adams, wrote a book in 1931 titled The American Epic, and it's in this book that he coined the term the American Dream. He went on to say this, quote, "Ever since we've become an independent nation, each generation has seen an uprising of ordinary Americans to save that dream from the forces that appear to be overwhelming it." Well, one of those forces that has been overwhelming the effort of middle-class, hard-working Americans to be successful is predatory lending. And today I'm specifically rising to discuss the introduction of the Safe Lending Act. SAFE stands for Stopping Abuse and Fraud in Electronic Lending. Well, the focus of this is short-term, high-interest loans, often referred to as payday loans. These loans often have interest rates of 300, 400, 500%. The debt that a family has with one of these loans just grows and grows and grows. Consider this, that if you take out $1,000 today, a year from now at 500% interest, you owe $5,000. In 2 years, you owe $25,000, an impossible sum for a family of modest means. So these payday loans pull families into a vortex of debt from which they cannot escape, and this vortex destroys them financially. Huge consequences for the parents, certainly, but huge consequences for the children. Does a tremendous amount of damage to American families. This is why many major religions in the world have come out over time, over thousands a year, and said high-interest lending destroys and shouldn't be done. But here we have it, right here in America. Now, many states, including my state of Oregon, have worked to end this vortex of debt. They've put a cap on the interest rate. They have stopped the every 2-week rollovers. And so they have returned, if you will, small dollar lending to be an affordable instrument that doesn't destroy families. Well, these tough state laws are under assault by new tactics of the payday loan industry. And we need to address those new tactics. Specifically, the industry is starting to use an instrument called remotely created checks. Now, how does this work? So you have your bank account, and you take out a payday loan. The dollars are put into your bank account, and you think they're going to stay there. But now this online payday loan company, and who knows where in the world these people really are, they may be overseas in any remote location, extremely difficult to find, extremely difficult to enforce laws. They have your bank account number, and that's all they need to write a check to themselves to withdraw the money from your account and put it in their account, an account that's likely to be so remotely located that no one can enforce the state laws. In other words, let me say this again. The payday lender, once they have your checking account number, can reach into your account without your permission and take your money out. Thereby, they have the ability to bypass the state laws. And Oregon law may say that if you have interest rates over those established by Oregon law, your loan is uncollectible. It's illegal in our state. Well, these online predatory payday lenders, they don't care that it's illegal in Oregon. They have your account number, and they are going to reach in and take your money illegally. So, that's not the only predatory practice that's evolving. These payday loan companies have also established a practice in which maybe instead of putting money into your banking account, they give you a prepaid card. Now, this prepaid card looks very convenient. Use it like a credit card, debit card. We're familiar with that in America. But here's the ringer. They put fees on these cards that add to the 300, 400, or 500% interest that is already destroying families, particularly over balance fees. Now, you may not know whether your card has $20 or $30 or $50 left on it. You know, in some of these prepaid cards and other parts of the financial industry, they charge you for all kinds of things. They charge you to call up and ask what your balance is. They charge you if you call up and ask a question about how the card works or even what the fees are. Just for asking what the fees are, they charge you a fee. Some of them charge you a fee every time you use the card. Some of them might charge you an additional monthly fee. But particularly these prepaid payday loan cards are notorious for their overbalance fees. You have perhaps $50 left in your account and you buy something for $52, and maybe immediately you get a $35 fee, which they can reach into your account and take. But then that's an overdraft fee on the bank, so your bank's now charging you a fee. And then because you don't know it's an overdraft because they didn't turn down the transaction, you buy a pack of gum, 50 cents. Another $35 fee. You buy a hamburger at Burger King for lunch, another fee. Well, you can see how these predatory fees line up very quickly on top of the 300, 400, or 500% interest. So here's the thing. State after state has said, these are destroying families and we are going to act. In fact, right here in the U.S. Senate, years ago, we acted to protect military families from these predatory loans. The admirals and generals came here to Capitol Hill to testify, and they said, at our military bases, these predatory payday loans are destroying our military families. And it's not just their finances. When their finances are destroyed, relationships are frayed. Children's opportunities are damaged. We cannot have this type of terrible impact on our military families. So we established a national cap of interest on these short-term loans. And it's good that we did. It's good that we protected our military families from these abusive, destructive practices. But if these practices are so damaging to families in the military, aren't they equally damaging to families that are not in the military? Shouldn't we apply the same protection to every American family that we apply to a military family? Don't we value the success of every American family more than we value protection for legalized loan sharking? So certainly, we should, here in this chamber, extend to all families in America the same protection we gave to military families. But until we do that, we should at least make sure that the federal framework requires honoring the tough laws passed by state after state after state to stop these practices. Now, I think the total is about 19 states at this point. So that is why I introduced the Safe Lending Act today. The Safe Lending Act, stopping abuse and fraud in electronic lending. This act does a couple of key things. First of all, it says these remotely created checks in which a company reaches in and takes your money without your permission, those are banned. You regain control of your checking account. Second of all, it bans these overdraft fees on these prepaid payday loan cards and other predatory fees established through the Commission. Third, it says that all small dollar lenders have to register in order to be monitored by their states so that they're not in an unregulated world out there with people even knowing that they exist. And furthermore, it says that every lender of every type has to abide by the state laws. Doesn't matter who they're regulated by. And finally, it bans lead generators. Now, what is a lead generator? A lead generator is a fake website that pretends it's a payday loan company, offers you a product, and their whole goal is to get your credit card, not your credit card, but your bank account number. And again, once they have that bank account number, they can reach in and take funds out of your account. It's incredible that this is true, that you don't have to sign the check. They basically just use your number and say, take the money away from John Consumer or Jane Consumer and give it to us. And the bank complies and does it. As amazing as that sounds, that's the way the banking system works. That's these remotely created checks. So we make sure that regardless of what your financial regulator is, you have to abide by the state rules, and we ban these lead generators that are fishing for these bank account numbers, and once they have them, they sell them to the lending industry, to the payday loan industry, and who knows what other hands these numbers end up in. I was surprised a couple of years ago when I noticed a charge on my bank account that wasn't something that either my wife, Mary, or I had purchased, a store we don't go to. And I looked at it carefully and discovered that the number of the check was out of order of my checkbook. And then, so I pulled up the copy of the check on the computer, looking through my account on the computer, and I could see that the number matched my account. The name on the check didn't match my account. The address didn't match my account. The signature didn't match my signature. None of it matched. The only thing on this check was the number of the bank account. Matched my bank account. And that's all that's required for someone to reach in and take money out of your account. Now, that type of fraud is surprising as well, but it reinforces the point that once an online electronic payday loan company has your number, they can reach in, that's all they need, and take the money out of your account. So we're going to ban these lead generators as another piece of this predatory profile of the payday loan, electronic payday loan industry. This is why I'm introducing the act. I greatly appreciate my co-sponsors on this act, and I'd like to thank them all. And they are Senator Tom Udall, Senator Bernie Sanders, Senator Patty Murray, Senator Dick Durbin, Senator Dick Blumenthal, Senator Elizabeth Warren, Senator Tammy Baldwin, Senator Ed Markey, Senator Ron Wyden, and Senator Cory Booker. So thank you to all my colleagues who care a lot about ending predatory financial transactions that strip billions of dollars out of hardworking Americans' accounts. We have a lot of work to do on this. We've accomplished some, much more to be done. Certainly, when James Truslow Adams said each generation, individuals have to stand up and fight against practices designed to destroy the American dream, he's talking about things like this, practices that proceed to undermine the success of America's working families. Let's stop those predatory practices in their tracks and pass the Safe Lending Act. Thank you, Mr. President.